Reason why we need to create a marketing plan for your restaurant is because we're always bombarded with a lot of noise. It's like going to Japan and you see all these different things that are yelling for your attention left, right, and center. And a lot of these are actually just noise to divert you guys from actually achieving what you need to achieve. So for example, if you walk down the street, your competitor has a buy one get one free promotion and you feel like that, hey, you know what, I'm losing out when I'm not doing that type of promotion. And you end up doing a buy one get one free promotion, but ended up not really working with what you have set yourself out to, which is the reason why having a marketing plan is super important, because it not only allows you to have the clarity, but also allows you to work step by step with a plan to achieve what you set out to achieve. That's how you feel when you have a plan. Yes, everything becomes easy. When you have no plan, you're just pulling your hair out, trying to figure out why you're bleeding money, and nothing seems to be working. Okay, without further ado, we're diving into the first step of creating your marketing plan for your restaurant. So the first thing is you need to identify exactly what you want. What does getting more customer mean to you? Or does it mean that for you want to increase sales, or do you want to build a community? The methods of doing what you need to do in the future is completely different. The strategies that you set out for increasing brand awareness is different from getting more profitability, and it is very different from just engaging with the community, which is the reason why you need to pinpoint exactly what you want, and thus everything else will follow. And just to show you guys what we do with 720 Sweets, our ice cream shop, is, you know, this is an outdated version, but we identify exactly what our objective is. Our objective is to increase social media engagement and increase sales revenue. So by us really defining our objective, we now know exactly what to measure, which is basically the likes, the vanity metrics that would determine whether this is successful or not. And then for us, increase sales revenue is to sell 600 cups of ice cream, right? You need to identify and pinpoint exactly what you want, whether it is to, you know, just have awareness. So we have done campaigns where we collaborate with well-known companies just for the sake of leveraging off their name and build more awareness for our brand. But in turn, we don't make money. So it's very, very intentional why we're doing what we're doing, and it is super crucial for you to pinpoint exactly what you want. So now that we have identified our objective, what we want to achieve, we want to have more social media engagement. Now we can think about the sexy things, the things that are exciting, the marketing strategies that would bring people into the doors, the marketing strategies that would engage with people through social media. And some of the brainstorming activities you can do is like, hey, you know what, if you're looking into increasing sales, we can think about monthly promotion, seasonal promotion. We can have better signages on the street, having a sandwich board out there, or even outreach to like offices, organizations, associations, and wedding planners. So then that way we can collaborate with them and leverage off their people and their arms in order for us to get more sales. And these are just areas and activities. So you can actually expand on this, and you can actually see what people are doing as well as inspiration. Now, if you're thinking about building a community for your restaurant, then community events with creatives or meetup groups. So then that way people are gathering within your space. You become the glue within your community, and that's how people associate your brand and your restaurant. Third step in creating your marketing plan for your restaurant is to choose your platforms. A lot of people make a mistake of trying to do all the different platforms, because you see Restaurant A doing an exceptional job on YouTube. Great, now you're jumping on YouTube. You see Restaurant B doing an exceptional job on Instagram, then you're jumping on Instagram, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, you end up jumping on all the different platforms, but when they're not in sync, when they're not working together and aligning with all the different messages, then unfortunately it's not going to work well for you guys. So definitely make sure that you go out there and dominate the platform where your customers are hanging out. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Like for us with 720 Sweets, all our customers are hanging out on Instagram. And that's the reason why we chose to really focus on building a really exceptional feed on our Instagram. Because for us, our target market are millennials, and millennials, that's kind of where they consume their content, is on Instagram. Now, the fourth step is that now that we have identified everything, we need to have SMART goals. What's the point of having these campaigns if we don't have a specific goal we want to hit? We won't know whether we're good, we're on par, or we have room for improvement. So at the end of the day, having SMART goals is not just any kind of things that you throw out there in the wall. You're like, hey, you know what? I want 50K in sales. That's not a SMART goal because it's not actionable, it's not timely, and it's not specific. It's only specific to the revenue amount, but then it's not specific in terms of when do you want to achieve that? Or do you want to achieve it within a week's time, or within a month's time, or within the whole year? So being very specific is super, super important. So just to share with you guys some examples. Okay, an example of a SMART goal. Increase drink monthly sales by 15% by August 2020. So this is a very, very SMART goal because it's specific. We're talking about specifically drinks sales. We're not talking about your food sales. We're talking about specifically drink sales. By how much do you want to increase your sales by doing these marketing tactics? Well, I want to increase it by 15%. Now you have a benchmark to see whether you're successful or not. Then you can tweak that. By when? You need to have a timeline for your SMART goals, because at the end of the day, it gives you a destination to hit and to actually push you to actually cross that finish line. And that's the reason why having a SMART goal is super powerful. Now, having these SMART goals is not a one and done all. And what I mean by that is it's not something that it should deter you from achieving it. It's a motivation for you to achieve these goals. Now you just need to think about, hey, you know what? For us to achieve this goal, what do we need to do? We need to train our staff to frequently ask for upsells. So these are the different tactics and different ways that you need to brainstorm to help you achieve the goals. Increase table signages of drink special, and these things all add up and play a role into increasing your sales by 15% by August 2020. As you can see, our target is to have 600 likes, 80 comments by the end of the voting period. We want to gain 75 followers by the end of the voting period. What is the voting period? This duration goes from October 12th to the 31st. So we have identified exactly what the outcome would be in terms of what is the very, very specific. It is timely and it is measurable. And that's something that we were doing in 2017. So moving on, community SMART goals. So for us, we want to increase our email list by 1,000 by August 2020. For example, we want to be able to host a contest, a $50 giveaway with email entry only, adding Wi-Fi marketing platform, so on and so forth. Increase community events to 3 per quarter by July 2020. Number 5, work backwards. A lot of us think about, hey, we have a goal and we want to achieve it, and therefore the next step, next logical step is to, what should I do? It's very, very difficult for us to come up with ideas and actionable steps for us to achieve those goals because we're thinking from the wrong perspective. We're thinking from, hey, how do I get there? And we take that first step, second step, third step. In reality, whenever we have these campaigns, we think with the end in mind. What is our end goal? And then from there onwards, how the next step backwards, what does it look like? We need to visualize what does it look like from the end and slowly work backwards and to identify each and every single milestones that we need to hit in order for us to achieve the end goal. So we are going to reverse engineer the whole thing back to our current position. So to give you guys an example, we need to have that end goal, map it out, and something that you can visualize, because if it's everything in here, it's very, very difficult to comprehend what you're trying to achieve. And that's the reason why we have that marketing plan that we've worked out. Some of the items that you want to identify would be, for example, milestones. What are some of the critical steps you need to hit in order for you to achieve your goal? assets that need to be made, whether it be promotional items, whether it be social media posts, whether it be newsletter write-ups. You need to identify all these things. Post emails that needs to be scheduled, and for when do they need to be scheduled. And as you can see here, the different colors identify the different critical points that you need to achieve. Some of the key dates: finalize the 2 ice cream flavors, campaign starts, voting contest duration, voting contest announced, the new flavor, the campaign ends. So these are just some of the key dates that we talked about. But then of course we have a lot more different in-depth items that we need to have. We need to create our newsletter, we need to create our new flavor posts, contest posts, and the different posters that we need to create. And we are identifying all the different items here in order for us to get ready for our launch and to finalize everything. The next step is to make sure that we execute and we track. A lot of people make the mistake of creating a marketing campaign, but they don't have proper measures in there in order for us to track, which is the reason why we created SMART goals. The SMART goals are measurable goals that allows us to see how far are we away from what we intend on hitting. For us, it was 600 likes and 80 comments. So we track that from before we start the campaign to the end of the campaign to see, have we achieved the 600 likes? Have we achieved the 80 comments that we want to achieve? And this allows us to track it, right? And we also need to make sure that there are timely deadlines, because for us to achieve 600 likes, it could take us a month, it could take us 2 months. But if we don't have a time and a deadline for these, then it doesn't really make sense. We need to have specific responsibilities for everyone. For our campaign, we need to work hand in hand with basically all our team members in order for us to execute properly, whether it goes from design to prints to actually bringing our banners to our retail locations, to putting it up, to communicating with PR. This is the fun part: reiterate and repeat. Exactly what I was saying previously, knowing exactly what works and what doesn't work allows us to reiterate and repeat what has worked. And for us, collaboration has been working like a charm, because every time we collaborate with a brand, and we're able to get a lot of noise, and as a result we are able to have more sales. And thus that's exactly what we did. We iterated and we repeated these different campaigns. As you can see in Espresso, we did one with Vitasoy, and we had one with our new cups, our new flavors, and all these things. These are calculated risk and calculated campaigns that we're doing as a result of previous campaigns that we have done. It validated the fact that, hey, this is working. Let's continue doing this. Now let's see where are rooms for improvement, and therefore let's make it better. And that's exactly what you need to do with your marketing plan, is to reiterate all the time, and so then that way you can repeat the success that it brings you. And in turn, it allows you to actually get more and more customers through the doors. And that's the whole point of the game, is to test it out, see what works, what doesn't work, and repeat stuff that works. That's the essence of why we need to do what we do. And in 7 steps, you're able to create a marketing plan that actually works.